If systemic racism actually existed, why are there so many white people trying to play black people and so many black people that don't have to live up to the same standards as white people? Remember Rachel Dolezal? I wasn't identifying as black to upset people. I was just being me, says white lady Rachel Dolezal. She's actually a ginger. But she played a black person in order to get her to look at this. Baby Rachel. Let's look at that. Childhood photos. Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Rachel, what were you doing? And now look at it. Look at this. And this ginger's like, hey, that could be me. Rachel Dolezal became an activist. She started wearing hot pants, right? The clothing got a little tighter. The hair got a little more permed and frizzy. Her birth certificate says she was white. Whatever. But Rachel Dolezal was here to fight for them. What a grift. What a fraud. What a debasement of the institutions. But what does it say when Rachel Dolezal can get promoted and get interviews and be put on boards and can ascend suddenly in society when she identifies as black? It really is a question here, isn't it? If you can just get ahead, if you can just leapfrog everybody, and all you have to do is lie. That's exactly what just happened in the most prestigious institution on earth, arguably. Look at this. Look at this humiliation. Jason Arday was one of the single most prominent, prestigious, exciting things to happen to Cambridge University, the oldest university in the world. In England, he was celebrated and was brought into this aging, ancient institution in order to shame the old left-wing whites who run it and make them beg for his approval. Look at this. The Professor Arday was told that he was the best in the world by his boss.
And it's a big. And now Jason is days away from achieving another ambition.
Hey, so good to see you.
Here's his new boss at Cambridge.
We do have a lot of work to do, but I feel really optimistic.
You have a lot of work to do. You can see what that was. It was like, well, we're not good enough. We don't have enough black or brown people on our staff. And since everyone's just like racist now, because that's what racism is tokenizing people to their skin color, that now we have to apologize. We, Cambridge, have to apologize to you, the dead-eyed, bug-eyed, glassy-skinned, greasy-skinned goofball that now does something remarkable here, which is demand an apology from the tenured Cambridge professor before he's even a professor.
I think this is a tokenistic appointment. What are your thoughts on this?
The board of electors on your interview day were absolutely unanimous. We are so lucky to have you. You are the best in the world in terms of the research that you do.
An extraordinary journey, but for Jason, this is not an end. It's a beginning.
Very interesting, because Jason Arday just had to resign in disgrace after being exposed as a massive plagiarist on his own PhD work, manufacturing his jobs, lying on his entire record, lying about his entire past. Cambridge did absolutely zero to check. And now this has become the #1 story on earth. Academia says, don't judge us because we elevated Professor Jason Arday in spite of preposterous fabrications that any bricklayer or housemaid would challenge. Well, what are those fabrications? Let's go ahead and break them down here. Arday must have drank 3 Red Bulls and done a line of cocaine, and while assembling a biography so ludicrous that it reads like a superhero origin story drafted by a disturbingly aroused liberal female. He claimed to be nonverbal until 11, plain illiterate until 18, ran 30 marathons in 35 days with a fractured leg, something, of course, physically impossible, had a brain tumor, exercised 2 weeks before his PhD defense, presumably while jumping off of a plane. And the BBC broke the space-time continuum by airing a swooning special about him before he was even born, at least in his mind. This is due to what you get from his Helen Keller and David Goggins against each other particle accelerator. The University of Cambridge, which still passes as an elite bastion of human intellect, looked at this literal Forrest Gump scrapbook, bypassed the basic checks, meaning they didn't confirm any of it because it was black. Let's just call it what it is, because he's an oppressed minority that, again, looks like a wax statue of Professor Snape, right? They just said, oh, please, yes, no, please, we're just going to believe you. I mean, questioning it would be racist, wouldn't it? They made him their youngest black professor. All the libtard academics just wanted a living monument to DEI stardom so badly that they refused to even check if his PhD was legit. Turned out that it was nearly 100% stolen verbatim. Verbatim. They ran it through the actual people actually got a hold of it and ran it through the plagiarism check and found that he plagiarized the whole thing. Diagnosed with autism. Look at the BBC just doing an absolute glaze job on this guy. Diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 3. He didn't learn to read or write till 18. Really? Did you learn to read or write? Hey, Celestina, let's go ahead and check Celestina. I wonder, could you possibly have brought maybe a little bias to all of this? Correspondent for BBC News. History lover. Well, then you probably love to check facts. Did you check any facts here before this glaze job?
I felt it was a privilege to have a period of 11 years where I couldn't speak and I couldn't converse in a way that everyone else could, because it allowed me to see things in a different way.
Professor Jason Arday was diagnosed with autism.
Okay, I want to just a little bit of cinematography here. I don't claim to be an expert, but this is called the hero shot. The hero shot is like a 360-degree pan around somebody's head with their eyes looking upward, right? It's the hero shot. You get it in Batman, you get it in Superman, you get it in every hero epic. They know what they're doing here. That alone, just the cinematography alone, shows you their bias.
I always felt
Look what they're doing.
Privilege to have a period of 11 years where I couldn't speak and I couldn't converse in a way that everyone else could, because it allowed me to see things in a different way.
Professor Jason Arday was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 3. He couldn't speak until he was 11 and read or write until he was 18. Throughout his early years, his parents continued to believe in him.
At 18, my mum had got to a point where there was only so much she could do, and she was brilliant, even though she had this belief that, he'll do something okay, but she was just decided, I need someone else to believe in him as much as I believe in him.
Therapists predicted he would need full-time assistance throughout his life. How wrong they were.
You okay?
It was this man, college tutor Sandro Sandri, who helped teach Jason to read and write at 18.
The whole thing is a fraud. The whole thing's fake. You and your colleagues are so gullible, people are right to be furious. Your salaries are paid for by the public. Incredible, robust journalism, Celestina. Can't imagine why you fell for it. The in-group preferences is just like libtards are so retarded for believing one word of this. It's not autism, it's low IQ. 100% journalism, 0% reality. Are you ashamed of your lack of scrutiny over this easily disprovable fantasy? You should be. The plagiarist DEI hire? Some are suggesting this guy is a compulsive fraud and liar, that nothing is true. I look forward to your full investigation. Yeah, we look forward to that. Wow. Look at that. Just all of it. This is really funny. The Jason Arday story would make a wonderful drama, learning that he read at the age of 18, Cambridge professorship just a few years later at 37. Just go from reading to going to Cambridge, combined with amazing athletic feats. The plagiarism allegations are serious, but as a runner, the part that blows my mind is Arday claimed to have run 600 miles in 6 days. If true, that would make him an international elite athlete. Yet UK athletic website doesn't register any times at all for Arday. Cambridge could argue that it doesn't matter. One of their academics has a rich fantasy life, except for, this is a impetuous liar who's lying to your children. Celebrity Cambridge professor Jason Arday, whose Rags to Riches memoir is still getting published, has recently lied about his charitable fundraising prowess. 16 years of records reviewed by the Free Beacon shows that his publishing house stealthily edited his biography in order to clean up the claim. So he's lying about that too. Never trust people with these dead eyes. See that? See the dead eyes? See that? University will review the appointment process of senior academics in the wake of the Jason Arday fiasco. Why is his face so shiny? What is that? Just being a liar? The curious case of Jason Arday. When identity politics takes precedence over academic standards, universities cease to fulfill their purpose. Just a reminder that, of course, this is something that is happening at full scale all across our country. This happened in our Supreme Court with Ketanji Brown Jackson, which is the single most racist thing I've ever seen the federal government do, claim to put up a black woman. Jason Arday, why would you do that? A black woman who went to law school and could be appointed to the Supreme Court. Joe Biden is promising to do that. That's excluding 99.9% of the country. That's the single most racist and exclusionary and sexist thing I've seen the federal government do. I'm saying a lot. It's a poster child for what happens when the cancer of diversity, inclusion, and equity becomes a driving ethos of academia. He's educated and talented as my dirty socks. His skin color supersedes all else. I've screamed about this in academia for decades. My colleagues have the courage of a castrated antelope, and they sit quietly while the edifices are all destroyed. That's right. If he wasn't so bad at lying, he would have gotten away with it. Could he have just stopped the nonverbal until 11? That alone would have already, he could have just he could have just not lied so much. The brain tumor stuff was neurodivergent not enough. You need a tumor right before you defend your thesis too. Pile on the marathons. Look at this. Arday has resigned with a 100% AI generated letter. Look at that. 100% AI generated in his resignation. Incredible. The UK police seem to have dropped the ball a lot when it comes to free speech. Investigating a journalist for exposing a liar professor was outrageous. We dropped the ball. Apologizing for investigating journalists who tried to expose allegations of plagiarism. So they went after the journalist who exposed the plagiarism. I particularly appreciate the camera's lingering shot of their clasped hands, black and white, the image of diversity. Goodness. Oh, man. Libs, what is your answer to this? Cambridge already knew it at Arday. They promoted him. It's incredible. Must read. They already knew that he was a fraud. They promoted him anyway because to fire him would be racist. This is why you shouldn't hire anyone based on their skin color, their sex, or any of their immutable qualities, and especially a bunch of stories that you refuse to verify or they're unverifiable, right? You should only hire people on merit alone. Now, under suspicion of using AI to write resignation letter. Goodness gracious. My take on all this? It's Black Snape. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.